Well, here we are, and all the way from the US, we have Calico, Cooper, and Chuck Garric. It's Rowan from Silver Tiger Media. How are you, folks?
Doing awesome, man.
Yeah, man, we're on the tour bus right now in the middle of a parking lot in Kennewick, Washington.
Absolutely. Heading further north as you go.
Chili out of a coffee cup.
Magnificent. It's such a thrill to speak with you both. Thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man.
We love
Thank
you. You guys have been such a
I'm
big
going for the
supporter.
Bono look today, man. I'm just gonna kind of leave a little mystery there.
He's gone full
Look,
rock star. There's no
It's so
back.
working too, I've got to tell you. Look, straight off the bat, the most important thing we've got to discuss, has Suzanne been returned to you?
Let me tell you something. So that is the same bat. Suzanne was a bat Chuck made for me when we first started Beasto. I mean, it has been the bat that was in all the videos, all the, any press release, photographs, everything. That was Suzanne. And I named her after that Weezer song, Suzanne.
Indeed.
And it's a ballad, and I loved her so much. And we played in Colorado, and I set her down on top of a road case, turned around, turned back, gone. So we have some AP out on her, but no, has not been returned yet. So we have a stand-in for a while, but I want her back.
Absolutely. What sort of self-satisfied, odiferous prole would take such an esteemed member of the Beasto Blanco cast?
You know something else? I love your $5 words. Thank you, because that's how I feel about it. And think about it like this. You love a band, right? And you go to this show, and you have an amazing time, and then you go backstage, and you make the point to say, hey, I love your band. Oh my gosh, Beasto's amazing. Come back every day for the rest of your life. And then you rob me?
Oh, it's incredible.
Makes perfect sense.
Where you
Now,
going?
what surprises me is, Chuck, you and I had a drink together post Alice Cooper at the Palms in Vegas a few years ago. And I remember, as nice a guy as you were to me, I did think that this is not the man with whom to mess. I mean, so whoever took Suzanne, I'd advise you to bring him back.
Well, I think I remember that time we had a drink together, but if I remember correctly, you might have been dressed in drag that night. That was why I was talking to you.
That's exactly right. And you still left with about 3 other females, I know, so thanks for that.
No, man, you know what? Yeah, the muscles and knuckles don't come out very often, but when they have to.
I just can't believe it would. I mean, there was so many other things you could take that meant less to me. But she was my little baby. But I'm getting her back. And we will
She'll be
follow
returned.
up.
She'll
Yeah.
be returned.
Absolutely, without doubt. And of course, hopefully that's while you're on the road. You're out there with our dear friends from Halestorm. And I have to tell you, as much as I love these guys, this really sounds like RJ hijinks to me. Have you searched his kit cases?
I have searched that kid tops to tails. Because I said, there's an ancient Incan curse on that bat that whoever takes it from its owner will have bad luck for the rest of their life. And he looked me dead in the eyes and said there was no way he took it so.
Well, there we go, from his lips to God's ears. Now, we've been watching very closely the tour and really enjoying the celebration from people at every stop. How has the tour been for you so far?
Man, it's been phenomenal. Honestly, the Halestorm camp is fantastic. They're not only friends of ours, but just
There you go. All right, awesome. Back to our usually scheduled program.
Brilliant. So we were talking about the tour and how it's been.
it's been amazing. It's been amazing. The crowd response has been epic. I think that obviously this is our first time in some of these markets, playing a completely different demographic. We put together a hell of a show. It's very entertaining. It's not only sonically entertaining, but visually entertaining as well. And sort of we got 30 minutes to sort of, punch them in the face and leave a mark. And that's what we're doing, man. We're having a good time.
Absolutely. And of course, Halestorm will be opening for Alice Cooper this summer, which really leads me to ask. I mean, sorry, I'll just say a quick, say hi, Dad.
Hey there. Long time no see.
Indeed. Which leads me to ask, I mean, how difficult with all of your commitments is it to get together to create this Beasto Blanco magic that's continuing?
You know, it's funny when something's important to you and when something is fulfilling you creatively, it doesn't seem like it's a chore. You know what I mean? It's more of like an opportunity where we go, you know, Alice is doing the vampires. What a great time for us to really take all that time and go out and really hail the new Beasto record We Are that's coming out. And yeah, like Chuck said, the crowd's really been loving it. It's a new demographic. You know what I mean? I've met so many teenage girls that get it. And it's so refreshing for me to go, oh my gosh, these young girls get what we're doing. They like the songs. They love the theatrics. And they're the Halestorm fans, but they get what we're doing. It's such a great package. It's really a godsend, a great, great package.
Absolutely, indeed. And of course, you played Garden City, Idaho yesterday, and you hit Kennewick, Washington tomorrow, before heading north into Canada, where I understand you're playing some centres for the very first time ever. That must be an exciting aspect of the tour.
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of these are first times in these particular markets, some in the U.S. as well. And we're unique in the fact that Beasto Blanco has not had a chance to tour in some of these places, but we've been able to build a fan base. As you know, we haven't had a chance to tour in Australia.
But we're coming there.
Yeah, but we've got a fan base over there as well, and we've built up quite a nice one in Canada. So we've got a lot of people really excited to see us. I know we're excited to get there and just hit all the markets we're hitting on this tour. It's a great way to sort of, you know, introduce ourselves to everybody and also promote this upcoming record that we're so proud of. You know, we continue on after the Halestorm tour and go all the way up till June 1st. So we've got a lot to look forward to.
Absolutely. And as you say, we have such a building fan base here in Australia. And
we love the Australian fans. They get it. They get Beasto absolutely.
well, look, the tour in 2017 with Alice Cooper, we did miss you, Calico, on that tour. It was a shame we couldn't see you, but gee, we got some good shots of you, Chuck.
Oh yeah, yeah. You'll find me around lurking.
Absolutely. And while we're talking about Australia just briefly, you have We Are coming out in May, and I'm absolutely begging Beasto Blanco to come to Australia for the album tour cycle. Will begging help at all?
It helps, but you know, I think it's a matter of just getting as many listeners as we can, getting to as many people as we can, and just starting the process. I mean, it's been talked about. We had a couple offers in last year, but the band that offered us the tour had to cancel it. So, you know, I'm sure something will pop up here soon. We're definitely it's there. We're trying our best to get it, to make it happen. We just need the right bill, obviously, and that's what we're trying to build on now.
And Australia's a priority, man, because it's the best rock and roll crowd out there. It really is.
Well, the way I see it, if we each order from Rat Pak Records 5 LPs and 5 CD packages each, we should be well on our way to getting you out here.
Christmas.
Yeah, pre-order, but obviously, you know, it should be available, you know, in other music stores and other outlets as well as.
Absolutely. Look, they're doing so well, Rat Pak. They get their stuff out to Australia really promptly. We've got our pre-orders in. And look, it's the very least we can do, given how much you grind for us.
Yeah, my knuckles and muscles are tired. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Man, it's a grind out here, but we love it. When you love what you do, it's not as hard. So we're having a hell of a good time out here right now, man.
Absolutely. Of course, we're busting to hear the new album, and the Seeker video and track have launched excitement into the stratosphere. Calico, your scream at the start of the track is just epic. Was that ad-lib during recording, or was it actually written into the track?
No, it was, the song was already done, and we were just putting bells and whistles on it, and our producer, Ryan Green, and Chuck were like, I feel like it's missing, like, the thing at the beginning, so we had Chris, Brother Latham, take a shot at it, and then I just said, well, can I try? And I went down there, and I just sort of, like, took the deepest breath I could, and I held it as long as I could, and Chuck went, that's fun. And so I loved it too. I loved it so much, and I wanted to incorporate it. When I was writing the video, I wanted it to be like, because it sounds so much like a guitar.
Mm.
And so I wanted you to see me screaming, so you knew that it was me. Because I had to replay it a couple times and go, "Is that me or is that Chris?" Yeah, but yeah, I love that.
It works so well, and the track itself is just magnificent, well worth the price of an album all on its own. Was there a particular influence to that track, Chuck, when you were writing it?
You know, man, I don't know necessarily if there's an influence, as well as, you know, my whole life I've been influenced by music. So obviously somewhere in there may be a, you know, a Kiss tune or a Danzig song or something that kind of is resonating. But I mean, you can't ever really get away from that. So yeah, there's influence, but I can't name anything off the top of my head when we were writing that song what I was thinking, other than I remember distinctly that Chris had sent me over that riff, or Brother Latham had sent me over that riff that's over the verses, and I just kept hearing this yeah, and it just sort of kind of built off that, and the chorus was the last thing we wrote. It was something that I felt like it needed a little halftime thing to feature Calico, and Ryan Green, our producer, suggested more of this sort of operatic voice. You know, Calico can sing in so many different styles that felt it would be nice to have sort of sound like a bunch of angels.
Well, Lizzie sucker dressing the other day and was like, Chuck, that part in the secret we go, yeah, gets stuck in her head all day.
Absolutely, just like grind, I must admit. But I mean, this pure rock and roll just oozes out of you all. It's sensational. How Brother Latham keeps his hair out of that Les Paul during the video, I've no idea, but it's just brilliant. You've worked again with Ryan Green on this collection, who also worked on album number 2, of course. I'll just reach for that now. There must have been a special connection working together on that one to allow the freedom to move forward onto the next with him.
Well, the first record we worked with Ryan Green on, which was our sophomore release, Ryan really kind of just stuck to what we had written, and we didn't really stray too much from sort of my demos that I, you know, gave him. On this next record, on the We Are record, I submitted probably 17 songs to Ryan, and I just told him, I said, hey man, listen to these. You pick which ones you want to work with, and also go for it and dissect them and add parts, take away parts, have suggestions, because I really wanted his input. He's such an amazing producer. He has such a great ear. He's an amazing person to conceptualize drum parts and organize arrangements and things like that. So he was always 10 steps ahead of me. And what I loved the most about it was he was always challenging me to write more, sing differently, really challenging me to be a little bit different instead of just trying to do what I normally do and expand a little bit. So, as a listener, as a fan, as I am a fan as well, I'm really good on all Beasto sounding records. You really get a grasp of growth that we've had all the years of screen and the that we've done together. So, as a fan, it's a cool little journey that they get to go on.
Absolutely. And of course, the trick to him is he works with such a range of styles and genres, but manages to get the best out of every performer. Do you think that's the most appealing aspect to Ryan, is the fact that he does challenge each artist?
I think so. I mean, he pushed me to do things. I go, I hate that voice. I hate that particular voice that you want me to use. And he'd go, it works. It works. Just leave it. And I go, God, but I knew he's right, because he's so, he's so epic and he's so pro. And I mean, we worked 18-hour days. I mean, I have so many videos of Chuck just laying on the floor. Just like, we're spent, but we really put every bit of everything we had into this.
Yeah.
Which really, again, enhances the excitement for the new album We Are, because I can't help but listen to you, Calico, and think about the epic version of Feed My Frankenstein that you did that worked so well. Were you actually channeling Mae West? I mean, my God, that was insane.
I didn't even know I could. I think net with Beasto is every time we do a new record, I go, oh, I didn't know I could sound like that. You know what I mean? It's, for me, I started off, I'm an actor. So if you say sound like this, I can copy that sound. And so I found my own vocal sound through copying other things and then kind of crushing them together, and I go, oh, that's what I sound like. So I finally got it. But like, yeah, on this record, you know, I have a song called Solitary Rave that it's on Spotify now, Apple Music.
I'm not sure. No,
Somebody said I don't know, but it's in like the movie theaters in America. Like prior to the film, they play the song. But yeah, it's a power rock, snotty punk, amazing song
with a waltz in the
with
middle
the waltz in the middle of it. Yeah. So,
Oh, wow.
But me, I'm such an insane person that it matches my vibe.
Absolutely. And look, while we're talking about the way you create this music, I mean, from this sensational album to this sensational album to even, I mean, the live album.
Yeah.
So, as I said, Rat Pak are really good at getting us a product out here pretty promptly. But as you move through the albums, We Are strikes me as a title of where you've managed to capture the Beasto Blanco sound. Is there any accuracy to that observation?
Well, I don't know if we've conquered it. We're always striving to be better. I mean, that's the joy of being an artist. I think if you've ever come to completion, then
You're done,
right? I don't think that's
Yeah.
ever gonna. I'm always gonna strive to be a better songwriter and.
I mean, even being on tour with like
She loves
somebody.
this chili.
I do. I'm starving. Anyway, but no, like being on tour with somebody like Lizzie, you know, I'll watch her sing and I go, I can do better. I can do better for myself. You know what I mean? Because she set the bar so high that it makes me want to be a better singer.
Yeah.
So now I watch myself like kind of like pacing my performance so I can hit those notes, so I can do that stuff. I mean, that's what it's all about, is taking from each other and building up, you know?
And I think this record, you know, obviously is sort of like a way for the fans to know that lyrically this record is for them. It's for people that are just now discovering us and people that have been with us since day one, that we recognize you. We couldn't do this without you. It takes an army to get this far and to continue the success that we've had, and this record sort of is our way of just saying, hey, thank you, and we've been paying attention to you just as much as you've been paying attention to us. And not only are we Beasto Blanco, but so are you as well. And it's an important marriage. Obviously, it takes it takes not only the fans but the band, our crew guys from management to merchandise guys to front of house to whoever's out there helping us make this thing possible. The lyrics to everybody. So it's all very important. It takes a team.
Absolutely. And of course, listening to you, to hear you is just such an exciting concept to see you live. But as you expand your catalogue, are you finding it a little bit more difficult to, I guess, manage the inevitable agony of choice when it comes to selecting a set list? Is that becoming harder?
Yes. And we will fight about it until the day we die. From Jan to Chuck to me, I mean, there have been eyebrows raised. And I go, look, we're playing this song. And they go, it doesn't fit. And I go, I want to do it. I really want to, you know, and then everybody's got their opinion on what the set list should be because the songs are great. I love them. And we all want to do all of them.
Absolutely. I remember hearing people in the crowd at Melbourne back in 2017, Chuck, yelling for Grind and Death Rattle. Granted, one of those people might have been me, so I apologise for that. But as you choosing favourites from an album for both of you must be like selecting a favourite from Offspring. But do each of you have a particular favourite track at the moment from We Are?
Well, you know what? I mean, this may sound kind of cliche, but because we just started really playing these songs, you know, I'm having a blast playing Seeker right now. I'm watching a song that was an idea to going into the studio and everybody giving their input and coming to life to now it's a video and then on tour with Halestorm, it's been released now and to watch the crowd participate and clap along and to a song it's an infant at this point, but the reaction is so amazing and I'm having a blast playing it. It's fun to play on guitar. It's epic to sing. There's just so much going on. I'm having a really good time playing that tune right now.
I get to scream at the beginning. Everyone's happy. That's one of those great ones. But mine is Solitary Rain for sure. The song that I get to sing. I love it. I love the story. I just think it's lyrically, it's really easy for me to perform because it spells out what I do next. You know, so I'm just having a blast throwing a giant temper tantrum on stage, I think.
Calico, I realise that the Chuck has described you previously as the ultimate rock star, and I'd have to humbly agree. But I'd like the opportunity to, or offer the opportunity, if I may, for you to retort. The man here with you, the man that embodies all that is ferocious rock and roll, a rock hero to me and so many. How would you describe this man, besides very unattractive?
He's only unattractive because he won't take off his hoodie. And a boy in a hoodie's got something to hide. No, I would say, you know, in every body, and I always, Beasto is a beast, it's a creature. And I think that, you know, Chuck is obviously the heart of the beast. And without that, we're just a big old dead body. It's like, you know, he is the one that drives, let's do a new record. Let's do a tour. Let's put this together. He is doing the tour managing. He's doing, you know, the musical direction. He's making sure everything works. And the harder he works, the easier it looks. You know, so when people go, oh, Beasto looks effortless, it looks cool, blah, blah, blah. It's all because he's done all of the work. He's built the Eiffel Tower, and now we get to set off the fireworks. So, I mean, Chuck is you can be flashy. You can do it. Anybody can do what I do. I say that. You just have to have enough caffeine. But Chuck does actually take time, and it takes talent, and it takes a lot to make it look like it's this sturdy. You know, so, I mean, who's the consummate rock star here? None of us would be here without him and without his back catalog and what he's done. And there's the talent, just straight up the talent. And I couldn't do it without the confidence that he was there. I don't think the creature that I become is even real without that counterbalance. And it's also super awkward to talk about somebody that's sitting right next to you.
It is too. I just thought I'd pop you on the spot there. Pardon me. But of course, everything you talk about, I don't know if you can see that image that was captured in Melbourne by one of our photographers. Just that embodies everything that you're saying so beautifully. Chuck, you are the archetypical rocker, born to the role and living it beyond all possible expectations. What clicked for you all in Beasto Blanco back in 2012? Was there a single moment where you thought, wow, this is so right, we've got to pursue this?
I kind of just thought that before the words even came out of my mouth, that I wanted to start my own band, and I wanted Calico to be part of it, and I wanted Brother Latham to be part of it, and I wanted to do a record. I made sure that before I said those words that I was committed, because I knew once we started it, it was going to take a lot of hard work. And I appreciate what Calico said about me. It means a lot to me, but this thing, what Beasto has become, like I said earlier, it's not just one guy. It's just me doing my part, and everybody does their part in this band. And I feel the same way with her. I couldn't do it without Calico, and without Brother Latham, without Jan the Growl. I mean, they've all been here since the beginning. We've starved together. We've gotten lost together. We've shared, you know, sold out arenas in Germany together to where we are right now, celebrating the release of We Are. So for me, I just think I was committed. Once I was committed, I knew I'm going to take this thing to the finish line. And I don't know where that line is yet. I hope that it's still a ways out, and I look forward to continue to tour and write, make records, and see what else we're capable of.
Absolutely. Let's hope that is twice the reign of Alice Cooper, with all due respect.
Indeed.
Now, speaking of Alice briefly, he's such an established legend and the supreme professional, even from a live show performance. And obviously you can see a lot of that professionalism transfers into what you're doing. Do you find that the theatrical side of Beasto Blanco is something that you keep in mind when writing new tracks?
You know, it's a good question. I think it's kind of hard for me to think that I haven't been paying attention watching Shep Gordon and Alice put together a show. I have been. I I watch and try to learn as much as I can from everybody in that camp, because it's such a well-oiled machine, and it's so professional. But yet at the same time, I've witnessed a guy who's been in the business his entire life, but still acts like every show is his first show, and he has something to prove. And and Ronnie James Dio was the same way. I've been very fortunate to play with the guys like that, because they kind of ingrained in me that type of work ethic and that type of attitude. So theatrically, I don't know if it's conceptual during the writing process. I really just let Beasto Blanco happen organically. We don't talk about theatrics as part of our conversation. We sort of let it happen, and then we let it develop, and then we'll start to figure out what it is we're doing. But you know, Calico says it all the time, and I agree with her, is that every time you come to a Beasto Blanco show, although it may be the same set, it's going to be a different show, because there really isn't much choreographed there. She is such a free spirit on stage, and there's such an energy to her movement and her reaction to the songs, and depending upon her mood. And I think that it makes it unique for me, because I'm watching the reaction from the people in front. So I know that there's either something amazing happening behind me, or it's just a complete shitstorm.
Beautifully put. And of course, letting it happen just makes all of this so organic. It's no wonder that Beasto Blanco is just going from strength to strength and producing such brilliant music. Calico, I realise that you probably have heard more people throughout your life referring to Alice rather than Vincent, and it must be a difficult concept for you to grasp, but did you ever think about doing something else with your life, like, you know, maybe nursing or...
I mean, I make one hell of a kindergarten teacher. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I do a lot besides this. I work at a women's shelter in Los Angeles. I job train there. I've been a waitress. I've been a barista. I've worked retail. I've done everything. I've toured with Alice. I've done Beasto. I do movies, TV, film. I just think it's all about a well-rounded life, and I think if you're missing a piece, it shows. You know what I mean? If you've never, like, you know, had to pay $10 to park your car to make $10 an hour, that's living in LA. It sucks, but that's your rite of passage. You know what I mean? And I think that I appreciate it more now doing Beasto, because I came from the Alice tour, where, you know, that was my sort of my map of what was normal. So this is the way people tour, and this is all this. And when we started doing this together, we really start from A, and then we move up, and then we move up, and it was each and every claw in the rock of climbing up. So now that we're where we're at, I take nothing for granted. I'm so stoked that I can see where we're going, you know, and so it's not like I never get discouraged, or I never get, you know, like, oh, I just want to be at this level. We're at where we're at, and we're talking to you right now, and anybody that's, you know, tuning in and listening, and like, this is where we're at. We're doing this new record together, and I'm so excited for it to come out, and for like people like you to tell us what you think. Tell us about this song, because we're going to keep doing records.
Absolutely, and let's hope that you are doing them for a hell of a long time to come. What astounds me, and I go to pains to try and ensure that people don't think that I'm just catering to their professional or personal vanity, but the truth is that people like yourselves, and Alice for that matter, are such astonishing performers, musicians, but just such genuinely fantastic people. I cannot thank you enough for a half an hour of your time while you're travelling to chat to us.
We have had a blast talking to you. You ask the best questions. It's not the standard issue. I love it.
We love the
attention. Thank you very much. Well, that's an interesting point to finish on, Calico. Look, is there going to be a video where you actually get to kill Chuck?
I need him, and I hate to say that, but I really do.
We're not into the snuff films yet, so we'll get there.
Give us time. You know, we actually,
well, it's wonderful to talk to you. I'm sorry about that. Our sound just dropped out for a second. I was talking over you, Calico. My apologies.
You're good. No, we're just talking about we keep making videos. Nobody's died yet, but in our lives.
Well, let's catch up again after we've had a chance to review the grind. We'll go, sorry, my apologies, the grind. To enjoy the fruits of your grind when we hear We Are. We cannot wait to hear the album. And let's chat again after that. I think the Easter Beasto picture is the scariest shit I've ever seen. So thank you for that. Indeed. Well, sincerely, you awesome legends, one and all. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Please travel safely. We'll see you soon.